Hello everyone, welcome to Cabbage Patch Soap. My name is Laura, and today we will be making a tulip inspired soap, and we will be cutting the soap from our last live. I'm also going to be trying to straighten out this camera a little bit. Just a second here. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'm just going to get my chat set up so I can see what you're saying. Alright. Okay, almost done here. Hi Stacy, welcome. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Okay, so I'm just going to get some gloves on. And we will get started on cutting the soap. Also going to make a little bit of space here. I've got my stick blender sitting out, and there we go. Okay. Here is the individual bar that we poured. Looks really pretty. It's got some bright colors and the swirls turned out, which is good. Hi Lorna, welcome. Welcome in. Too short of a weekend? Yeah, I bet. Oh, I would love to have a long weekend sometime. Alright, so I'm just going to grab these things here. Okay. I'm just going to open this. Okay. Got a little piece of soap on there. And over here. All right. Sorry, I'm just putting my gloves on. If you hear any noise in the background, we got the fan on, so it's a little bit warm today. Hi, Patty. Welcome. Still just pulling on the gloves. Okay, so let me go ahead and unmold the other soap. Oh, and you know what? I should grab a paper to put these soaps on. I don't think I have any more. Do I? Yes, I do. No, those are not papers. I'm going to grab a paper. I'll be right back. I forgot to grab that. I thought I had some on the shelf. 1 second. Okay, I've got the paper. And I'm going to cut it down to size. Okay. There we are. I'll cut it one more time because I don't need it this big. These papers are pretty big. They're just parchment papers. Okay. All right. So here's the paper. I'm going to set the others on the shelf. So next time they will be available. Okay. Enough delays here. Let's move all this over. So here's how that soap turned out. Really super vibrant color. I don't know if that's showing up on the screen. It did get really hot. You can see a little bit of a crack here, and that's normal. If the soap gets really warm, it'll crack like that. And that's just the heat escaping like a volcano. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm just going to loosen this. There we go. And I got some of that blue mica on my gloves, so I may need to change these gloves. We'll see. I just pop this out. hopefully it comes out easy. Oh, this smells really nice. I really like this fragrance that we used. Okay, so we still have, just like before, we have this really vibrant pink, orange, purple color scheme going on. And just double checking, make sure I cut this the right way around. I marked it, so, and I did the swirls my normal direction, and you can see the shadow of the owl right there. So this is going to be fine. All right. And I set my soap towel down. Oh, I think I put it under the individual bar. Maybe I should have unmolded that first. Oh well. All right, let me wipe this off because I don't want to get it all over the cutter. It's way too much bits of soap. Okay. Just checking what you guys are saying real quick here. Yeah, it is neon. Yep. Yeah, the soap gets hot when it goes through gel phase. Yeah, spring colors, because the color springs right off the page. Okay, and I'm gonna, this looks like it's not lined up well. Let me move it over a little bit. There we go. Okay. Tink. All right, let's check. There we go. That's much better. Yeah, I really like that. It looks like clouds, like a sunset. And then you've got this dark line where the owl is sitting on top. And then you got the pretty swirls. Yeah, that turned out really good. And it's not, how do I explain? Like before we used so much pigment, it doesn't seem to be nearly as, like the color isn't transferring nearly as much as before. All right, here's the second bar. And where the pink and the orange meet, when you look at it, you can kind of see a slight, change in the color, but it's not super in your face. Yeah, with the owl. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. I really do like this with the owl because it looks like a sunset and the owls come out in the evening, so like a radioactive sunset. But it smells good. This is that moon fragrance that we used. Oh yeah, and then there's the top. So this is just really like a bright, very happy soap. And then these are the end pieces, which I'll probably cut up for samples later. What are you guys saying here? Awesome, Stacy. As soon as they're ready, I'll let you guys know. Um, yeah, I'm really happy with this fragrance. I wasn't sure. It has like that berry notes and florals, and it's a very nice fragrance. Okay, I'm going to clean this off a little bit before I put it back, and then we'll move on to making the next batch. All right. Should just take a minute to get all this cleaned out. Get the worst of it anyway. And then I can come back and clean it. Like scrub it later. But at least it's soap. Soap is kind of automatically clean, so. Alright. Got a little piece there. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put this back, wipe the table off, and put the soaps aside. Okay. Looks like a little bit of that pink got in the corner there. I'll clean that off later. Okay. Alright, let's get these little crumbs out. Alright. There we go. I'll set this aside. Okay. And then I've got this soap towel. I'm going to probably set this aside because there's so much of this pigment on my hands, and I'm sure it's in this soap towel now, so I don't want to risk it transferring. Okay. Oh yeah, and this soap here. Let me move this to the shelf so that it can start drying. This looks really good in person. I wish the camera showed the colors off better. This is like one of those soaps that you can put under a black light and it's going to glow. Okay. I'm going to put this on its own like little area on the shelf because I don't want to have another soap touch it and then we'll end up with like a light colored soap with neon color transferred onto it. At least until the soap firms up. Once it firms up, that transfer isn't going to be as big of a deal. Okay, that's taken care of. Let me just clean my hands off again. Oh, we still need to unmold the little one. Let me see what you guys are saying. Your cat is a weirdo. Let me see what it says. Yep, sometimes they have a mind of their own and just they do the weirdest things sometimes. I've seen cats, you get the little meat shreds in a can, the canned cat food, and like you said, they'll eat the broth and leave the meat behind or whatever, and it's just like, I don't know what they're thinking. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and push this out. Let's see what we get. There we go. That looks pretty cool. So you can see the remember how we had the big air bubbles. Oops, sorry, that's not in frame. But you can see the swirls. They're kind of feathery looking. That's the bottom, and then this is the top and the sides. So that came out pretty cool looking too. I don't think it's quite as vibrant, at least from the top, as the main bars, but I think that's just because by the time we put this in the mold, by the time we put it in the mold, it the colors had kind of mixed together a little bit, so we got a little bit of that purple mixed in with the pink and the orange, and I think that kind of knocked the color down and the brightness of the color down a notch. But it's still a very pretty color. I'm just cleaning off my gloves again. Okay, that smells so good. It's like a fruit smoothie or something. All right, and I'm just going to see how far this camera, I'm going to try to adjust this for you guys so you can actually see. Okay, good, that's better. All right, so more of that soap is here. Okay, so these are the melted oils as usual. We're going to be mixing in the light water, which is here. The fragrance I chose is called Wildberry Tulip. It's a dupe of, I guess that's Bath and Body Works. I don't know because I don't really shop there, but it smells really, really good. It's like a floral, but it's a very like a light. It does have the berry notes in there, but it's a very light floral. It's not heavy. It's not really, really strong and overpowering. Tulips don't have berries. Well, actually, you're correct, but we don't exist in reality here, Ian. You can take your real life somewhere else. Let's see here. It's a silicone food mat. Oh yeah, yeah. Some of those food mats are really good if like you have a cat that eats too much, like too quickly, and then they end up like getting sick essentially because they've inhaled their food. It's supposed to help them eat slower. They make them for dogs too. That's a meme. Oh, then I need to look that up then because apparently I'm behind the times. I missed out on knowing what meme it is. Okay, so I got that fragrance. I think for the top of the soap, we'll do a little bit of gold. And for the colors, I want to do like a, not drop the bottles. Okay. I want to do like a green. So I'm going to use this Green Vibrance from Nurture Soap. And then I want to do pink and purple. I have a feeling that this is, because of the florals, this is probably going to thicken up pretty quick. So in case that does happen, I'd want to have like these two colors be the tulips, and then we'll kind of put the like blob in, like if you imagine just like pudding consistency, we'll just kind of like drop it in there. If it stays fluid, then instead what we'll do is alternate the colors a little bit. So, or do them in lines, like how tulips kind of on the farms are grown, like in lines, kind of. There's more of that soap. I tell you, I'll never be rid of this neon soap, which is fine. But okay. Anyways, so we'll do one of the two depending on how this fragrance behaves, because I've never used this fragrance before. I have no idea. And then, so this is Amaranth Pink from Nurture Soap, and this is Purple Vibrance from Nurture Soap. This is my go-to purple if I don't, if I'm experimenting with other things and I don't want to do too many variables, I'll use this. And I have links to these in the description if you end up wanting to try these colors for some reason. As you know, these all do really well in soap, but they might work for other art projects. Then on top of the soap, I made the little parts to hopefully what look like tulips. I made purple ones. So we've got the little purple tops, stems, and maybe leaves. And we'll put those on top after we dust on the gold. Hopefully I will not forget. And I'll be honest, I am tired today for some reason. I do not know. I think it's the heat, but yeah. So I'm hoping I don't forget anything. I'm going to grab, just in case I need it, I'm going to grab the chopstick, because finding out I need it when I need it is usually too late. Then I'll grab a couple spatulas. Okay, so I think we'll be okay with these. The spatula still has glitter stuck to it. That soap we made, the little hearts, decided to forever bless us with random glitter. So, okay. Let's see what you guys are doing here. Well, hot for me is really anything over 60. So once it starts getting over 60, I start getting dizzy spells and start feeling not myself. I don't know what the actual temperature is. I just noticed it was warm today. Let's see. If I have a 5-hour energy shots, you unlock the forbidden hour. That might be great, but I don't know what I would do with the forbidden hour. When I feel like this, like from the heat, then all I have is an extra hour of being tired. So, or an extra hour of my brain being slow. I don't know if that would improve things for me, really. It'd be interesting to find out. Okay, let me put the face mask on real quick so I don't get it in my face. Be right back. Okie dokie. So, as usual, once I put this lye water in here, I have to be careful. I can't pay too much attention to what's going on in chat. Oh, and I'm gonna do one more thing, just because we need to learn from our mistakes, and I prefer to do as little work as possible. And it ends up, sometimes it's good because I can become more efficient. Other times it just means I do something really stupid, and I want to avoid really stupid right now because I'm feeling a little bit tired. So, okay. Learning from our mistakes. We're going to put these colors into little containers because even though these are not neons and they're probably not going to stain and blah blah blah, I don't want to have to remake it if that turns out to be the case. I'm on YouTube. If you're going to do something stupid, now is the time for it. Look, I did that 2 lives ago. I am caught up for the month, I think. Pink. Although it would be kind of fun to do like a parody, like come on here and make soap and have it come out completely wrong and do everything wrong. I should look up like all the really strict rules that some soapers have for oh, you have to do it exactly like this or it's wrong. Look that stuff up, and then like basically what I'm doing now. Like I should be measuring this and weighing the batter every time I divide. I don't have time for that. Although I'm sure if I did, I'd be able to reproduce my soaps more like perfect each time I made them. Um, I'd have better notes, things like that. But because in the end it's still soap and this is mica, it's not going to hurt you. Um, Especially the small amounts that I'm using, things like that. It's like I just don't. I understand why people do it, and um, if they're able to, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with measuring everything exactly. But if I have too many things I need to do in between me and doing whatever it is I need to get done, I get paralysis and then I can't get anything done. So I wouldn't be able to make soap, I don't think, if every single thing I made had to be exactly measured out. Now, if I was doing soap for like a wholesale account or whatever, then yeah, I keep very accurate notes because I need to be able to reproduce that soap. I want them to know exactly what's in their soap so that they can talk to their customers. Things like that. Those sorts of things, yes, I will be exactly exact. But for my own soaps I make here that I put on my Etsy shop, it's like um, I'm just not going to worry about it unless somebody specifically asked for it. Because, anyways, I'm going to ramble on because I'm tired. I'm sorry. All right, so we got our colors divided. That's what you guys are saying real quick. Otherwise, you just film yourself doing something stupid and put it on YouTube. Yeah. What does that have to do with the Food Network? I don't know. I don't watch the Food Network, so I have no idea. I don't think I've watched television, like in my own home on purpose. In I don't know. I don't even, honestly don't even remember the last time. It's been years. Don't have. I can't really passively. I don't know. Trying to think of a way to describe it, but my brain is moving too slow. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sounds highly entertaining. Oh, the talking cats. Yeah. He probably would. Okay, before I forget what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, I will add, because it's a floral, I'll add the fragrance after I've divided them up and added the colors. Yeah, in fact, let me get the whisk, because I'll regret it if I don't. Okay, so in case I need the whisk, in case I decide to use it, it's here. Okay. Now that I've prepared for hopefully every variable, I'm gonna put the light water in. I'll get this going. Oh, it would be good if I plugged in the stick blender. All right. That fan is starting to work. I think I might be starting to feel better. Okay, I'm just going to pulse this and stir it because I do not want this over mixed in case that floral accelerates. Although the floral in that is really, really light. I wonder what it is. I should look it up real quick, actually. Whoa, come back. Just check if I can do this. This is not the time to do it, but I'm curious if they have a good explanation. I can tell you. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, so they describe it. Come on, load. There it goes. Okay. Berries, a sheer honeysuckle, amber, and wild red berries. Yep. That's a good way of describing it. Honeysuckle would be an accurate description, I would say. And when they say sheer, it's like you can smell other fragrances through it, and also it's not really, really heavy. But I'm sure there's a technical definition to what they mean by sheer, but I'm not going to look that up because I don't want this turning into soap on me before I'm ready. All right, so we'll pour off some of the colors here. So this should be the pink and the purple. Okay. We don't need a whole lot of that. And also I want the top of the soap. I'm hoping, if I can, to save a little bit of the green for the top of the soap. But if not, that's okay because we'll have that layer of gold. Okay, this is good enough. Trying to decide how I want to do this. I guess we'll put the pink and purple in, and then we'll do the green last. In fact, we can almost whisk these. Let's see. Okay. Here's the green. Okay. I'm just glad I didn't put them in the wrong colors. What are you guys saying here? Post-nuclear apocalyptic world, huh? Well, I tell you what, since I've never been to a post-apocalyptic world, I don't know if I'm the best, most experienced person to do a video about that. However, maybe I could find somebody who was alive during or after World War II, like in Germany or something, and maybe that would be somewhat similar. What do you think? Soap for dummies? Oh man. Well, I'm already doing that right now. I hope you don't think I'm like some sort of expert or something. Soap making dummy. Well, I could do soap making for dummies and like have the whole thing, have actual dummies making the soap like mannequins, That would be so funny. Actually, probably would. It'd be like a puppet show. And then the dummies do everything wrong, but in the end it's still soap, so nothing actually bad happens. Oh, like right now, me forgetting to pour in the fragrance. Okay. I think that's actually mixed in pretty well. I just have to make sure that this is not going to separate on me. Have I been to Walmart? Okay, well, there is that. Yeah, that's a good point. Wait, does going to Walmart mean I'm a dummy? Did I just walk into a trap? I think so. Looking for less toxic crafts lately. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the hard thing. I always wonder what I would do if I became allergic to soap making or something. I don't know what I would do, honestly. I mean, I have other options, but if I became allergic to soap making, there'd probably be a bigger problem going on. And I'll use my wonderful neon enhanced spatula here. But yeah, there's really nothing except for the fragrances. Really, I don't know if there's anything in here I could be allergic to. Certain oils. But yeah, if I couldn't do soaping, I don't know if there's really anything else that would be less invasive to my sinuses. Okay, so this is starting to thicken up, which is sort of good because I want this to not be runny, but I also don't want this to turn into pudding too fast. But that is thickening up. So is this. Okay, so that's good. This smells really nice. It's a really light and happy, like a pleasant fragrance. I'm really particular about florals. If there's something I'm allergic to, it's definitely the florals. There are certain things that I can't wear because I'm just allergic to it, completely allergic. And then there's other things where I'm fine. I can, like for example, rose. I like the fragrance, the rose fragrances and rose oils. I can definitely wear them, but if it's really, really strong, like if I make a great big batch of rose scented soap, I have to let it cure in another room for about a day. And then after it's fully set up and I've cut it into bars and everything, then I'm all right. But I can't be in the same room as the soap for about a day for whatever reason. But I like rose and I can wear it. But there are some I cannot wear. So these types of scents, like the one we're using today, where it's got a little bit of honeysuckle, the fact that it's like a light floral, I can tell because it's not making me sick. If it wasn't, I would be feeling really uncomfortable by now. So this is a really good floral for people who are, worried about florals. Let me see what you got, as you're saying. 2 purifiers. Wow. Yeah. If you had to get that many purifiers and it was still making you sick, that's not good. I would say do resin with the window open, but then you got bugs, and of course, if you have, as we've seen from Dis the Fly, you get one bug in the room, and the first place it's going to land is right on your project, where it will forever stay. I should really stick blend this green, but I think we're running out of time because these two are thickening up. Yeah, especially that purple because I stick blended it. Okay. Yeah, the soap does that too. Soap heats up also, but doesn't really. The fumes are all when you first mix the lye water. I do all that off camera before we start. It gets hot and releases fumes. That's why a lot of people will make their lye water with ice or partial ice because it helps reduce the fumes. And they'll do it by like an open window. I used to mix it outside and bring it in. I don't do that anymore because it's a long walk and I don't want bugs falling in it. But I'm not really concerned about it anymore. Okay, this has thickened up quite a bit. I mean, it's still very fluid. Whoops, as you can see, I just dumped it out. I'm going to pour some in. And then I saved a little bit, so hopefully that's going to be enough to kind of, whoops, put some green on top as I clean up my mess here. Okay. All right, so now let's get this cleaned since that's got color and I'll just stick it there. Clean up the mess and do the same thing. Actually, the pink has the spatula. So let's see. If I cut it this way with the lines, yeah, I think we'll go this way with the colors. So let's see. I don't know if the green is thick enough to let this sit on top of it. We'll see. We'll find out. If not, it doesn't matter. We'll just do, oh yeah, maybe it is. Okay. There's the purple. Oops. This is going to be really messy. So sorry if you don't like seeing mess. This is going to be a messy one. All right. We'll do the same thing with the pink, I hope. In fact, let me get the spatula out until I need it because it's just going to be in the way. Okay. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I didn't want to, since this is a floral, I didn't want to risk putting in the, using the long necked or the long spouts because they tend to, they take a little bit longer to pour. And if this accelerates quickly, then we could literally run out of time and that'd be bad. Okay. Okay. All right, so far so good. I'm really happy with this. Let's hope that it continues to behave itself. And I'm allowing this to have some of that color like peek through, like the pink and the purple, because I don't want this to be perfect lines. I want there to be some, a little bit different on each bar. I wonder, Stacey, if you could do resin outside. I mean, other than the fact that, you'd be battling nature, I wonder if that would help. Okay. So there's still quite a bit in there, but it's getting too thick to pour. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then I'll add my last layer of pink, and we'll see if that will be enough to go onto the green. Okay. I think it will be. Whoops. That is not what I meant to do. Oh well. All right. Got most of the pink in there. And then I'll use the spatula. I'm going to scrape this color back in there. This last layer is going to look really cool. Okay. Yeah, I think that should be enough space. Getting out any air bubbles. All right, so here's with the green. I'll clean this off and just use this for the green. Okay, I'm using the spatula to kind of break the fall to help this green just sit on top of the other colors. Hopefully it's not going to break through, because I want this to look like maybe distant hills or just like the rest of the, the rest of the garden or whatever. Okay, get the rest of this out of here. You kind of bounce the top like this. It helps it settle and go into all the corners, usually. Yeah, that filled it perfectly. Awesome. Okay, so before we do the next step, set that aside. Let's put this in here. I've got very little green, so I'm going to start with that. Okay. All right, I think we got pretty much all of it, except for a little bit of scrapings and drips. Okay. And I'm going to get it off the side here and just kind of spread it around the bottom. Okay. I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to check what you guys are saying. Lots of other crafts that you can do. Yeah, that's probably the safer route, Oh, yeah, the diamond paintings. I remember you talking about that. Okay. All right, so here's this purple spatula. I mean, not spatula, stick blender. We'll get some of this off of here. Oh well, wasting time on that. Okay, let's get the majority of this purple out of here. Okay, got quite a bit of purple. That's good. And hopefully we'll have a bit of pink. I think we will. I'm going to tap this to kind of help it settle and spread out. All right. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. What we'll do is we'll start with the gold. Well, actually, I'm going to do a little bit of swirl on this here because you can see where the colors just kind of pooled and make this look like it was not just dumped in here. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then we'll top it with some gold. Okay. Let's just give it a little bit of shiny on the top. So let's set this aside. And then we'll work on putting the flowers on here. Hopefully this has had enough time to sit. Okay. So I think I'll do, oh yeah, that's right. I should have got to put the gold on. And then what I think I'm going to do is put the leaves on, like the stems and the leaves first. And then I'll set the purple flowers on top. You have good news, Patty? Oh, you're going to reopen the restaurant soon. That's awesome. That sounds exciting. All right, let's see if I could do this without... There we go. Okay. In fact, I'm going to Because I have the leaf as well, I'm going to move this over a little bit so that there's space for the leaf next to it, and I'll just add a little bit more gold there. Okay. Let's put the stems in first, though. Okay. I'll do it slightly off center. I also have to make sure I leave enough room on the side so that the flower doesn't get cut. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Hopefully I don't mess it up. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's get the leaves on. So, I'm going to have to finish smoothing out these leaves a little bit. Okay. So here's one leaf. Each one is going to have one leaf next to it. And then we'll put the little purple flower on top. Okay. Just making sure that these are smoothed out and look nice. Okay. Here we go. This is probably going to be one of those soaps that I cut backwards. Like sometimes I turn the design around the other way so I can see where it is, where the wires are going to come down and cut the soap. That way I don't accidentally cut into the leaves or the flowers. Okay, there we go. Okay, good enough. And then here are the little flower tops. I don't know if the camera is going to pick any of this up, but they look like that. They're purple, and I believe this is the same purple that I use inside the soap, the purple vibrance, so it should match. Okay, I'm going to turn this because I don't trust my fingers. Oh, this is going to sound stupid. The soap is a little bit slippery, and I'm afraid that I will lose it on the, I don't want it to land like somewhere weird, but of course soap is slippery. And it looks like my glove touched it right there. But that's okay, I can fix that. Okay, there we go. That's good. Okay. First one's done. Thank you, Patty. I really hope so. Okay, I'm trying to smooth out the glove so I don't dent the next piece of soap. Okay, let's see. I gotta make sure these are the right way around. Okay. Alright, there we go. I'll turn it this way to make sure it's right side up and also push down into the soap enough so that it won't fall off. There we go. Tulips are really pretty. They come in all different colors. You can even get them with like roughly edged petals. There's even black tulips, which are kind of like a really deep purple, and they're kind of iridescent. They're really neat looking. And they're bulbs, so every year they come back, and if you don't mess with them, not only do they come back every year, but the bulbs will split. So if you plant a few tulips every year, you'll have more than you did the previous year, assuming nothing goes wrong. So tulips are pretty cool because they're inexpensive. You just buy a few bulbs, plant them, and then in a few years you have a really nice garden, and you don't really have to add anything. You don't have to keep planting them every year. I'm going to cover these flowers. I'm going to do it this way so that doesn't tip into the soap. And I'm going to try to spray the gold on here where I messed it up. So there we go. All right, so the gold is on there again. So now, okay, so I think we did it. There's a little bit of gold on this green stem here. I'm going to try to remove some of that so it matches the others better. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, good. If I had I have like little paintbrushes I could use, but I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess with it anymore. I'll wait till it's set before I do anything else because I don't want to accidentally push the stems in. Although this one is kind of rising out, so let me push that down a little bit. There we go. And this one also. There we go. I don't want to fuss with it too much because you know how it is. You'll keep messing with it and keep messing with it and keep messing with it. So that's how it looks so far. It looks like a little moth flying off the flower. That's true. That's true. It's got a little design, unintentional design there. So this will go in a warm oven, and that will help. Um, that will help encourage it to go through gel. I like gel because it makes most colors appear more bright. With the exception is like yellow. Usually, if yellow goes through gel phase, it comes out a little bit more pastel than it went in. But the others, like the pinks, the purples, basically the greens, everything we used in here, we should get some really vibrant colors when it goes through gel, which I think is important for flowers to have some bright, vibrant colors. And yeah, no touchy. That's right. If I touch it, I will be encouraged to continue trying to make it perfect until I mess it up. So I have to be happy with how it looks. Okay, there we go. I'm just cleaning these out real quick with this towel. Makes it easier to wash them so I don't have a thick layer of soap to work off. I can just wash off the residue that's in there. That's the outside. There we go. Yeah, much better. So there's that. And then on Thursday, we will come back and cut this soap and make a new design. And we need to pick a new design. Let me take these gloves off. It is too warm to leave them on. And I need to take off this mask 1 second. Okay, there we go. Somebody was saying something about a soap design. Maybe it was Ian. Post-nuclear apocalyptic world. Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, you could use rainwater instead of distilled water. I mean, you can use any water. If you're going to use a soap right away, it doesn't matter so much. The reason I use distilled water is because then you know there's nothing else in it. If you use like tap water or something, there might be something else in there that maybe like tap water is not supposed to be harmful, but there might be something in it, or maybe there's something in it that discolors your soap, or just who knows. You can't really. There's too many variables when you're not using distilled water. But it's not going to make the soap bad. It's just if you want, there's certain things I will do to get consistent results, like using distilled water. But yeah, in a post-apocalyptic world, you probably don't have access to bottled distilled water. You'd have to use like rainwater. You can use pretty much any type of oil. A lot of people originally used things like animal fats, so like tallow and lard were used a lot. I'm not sure how, because most oils are manufactured. So like olive oil, for example, you'd need tons and tons of olives, and you have to crush them and extract out the oil, and it's kind of a labor-intensive process for what's essentially a luxury product. If it's a post-apocalyptic world, you probably would rather eat the olives. So, you probably would have to switch to like animal fats, because you can use the fat off of any animal, even like wild animals. And the lye, you'd probably have to get the lye from ashes. So you would take like hardwood ashes, and you put them in a container that has holes in it, and then you like just let some water drip down onto the ashes, and then as the water goes through the ashes and drips out of the container, that would be your lye solution. That'd be the lye water you would use. So that would be how you would make soap in a post-apocalyptic world, I suppose. Because just like what would be available to you, it wouldn't be much. Of course, things like fragrances and colors would probably not even be a consideration. You could still probably put clay and stuff in your soap. Honey, if you could find honey, you could probably put that in your soap. Salts, you could probably put salts in your soap. I mean, but I don't know that anybody would be focused on a luxury product as much as just, getting clean for the sake of being clean. Even being clean might be considered a luxury in a post-apocalyptic world. Although it is important to be clean for, just the sake of being healthy and everything. So it'd be a balance, I think. So there you go. Make a video series on that with demonstrations. No, that'd be terrible. Yeah, let me just go out and take my camera out into the wild urban forest, urban jungles, and hunt down some squirrels or something, and take them home and butcher them, and take the fat, and then take some ashes and some brain. No, it would be an interesting series, but it sounds like a very time consuming project. Smokes and a cow. Make it for your course. Oh my gosh. Uh, I mean, I could. One of the things, though. Okay, so one of the things about lye soaps, well, also really has lye, some sort of lye or a base in it, but um, old soaps, like really old recipes, uh, unless the person was extremely well, like talented or just knew a lot. I don't know. Like, not everybody could make a safe soap. They would make. There's sort of this stigma of like old-fashioned soaps being hard on the skin or harsh on the skin. And that's because sometimes the lye was not calculated properly, or sometimes you couldn't calculate it properly. If you're dripping water into a bucket of ashes and then having the water drip out and using that as your lye solution, you have no way to know how strong that solution is. So, you're just kind of going off of feel. And it's very easy to make a lye heavy soap that way. And if a soap is lye heavy, that means there's still lye in the soap. It hasn't all converted into soap. And when that happens, it can have like negative effects on your skin, like people would describe their skin feeling leathery or whatever. And that can happen if you're using soap that still has, some lye in it. So even though I could do it as a series, like I don't know what I would do with the soap afterwards, because I wouldn't have any way of really knowing um, how strong the lye solution was and how safe the soap was to use, if that makes sense. Yeah, lye for dummies. It would be a huge opportunity for marketing. I know, but I don't want to hurt people. Yeah, before cars and Walmart, exactly. The way I make the soap now is I have like anybody can use it. You could just like look up lye calculators, and it calculates the amount of lye down to like the tenth of an ounce, or you can do grams if you prefer. Um, how much you need for the amount of oils you're using. And then I always do a little bit of extra oil that's called the super fat. That's a little bit of extra oil that doesn't turn into soap. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is because it feels nice on the skin to have it. Basically, it's essentially like what people would describe as like a moisturizing feeling. But also because if something was slightly off, either in the calculation or in the scale, or just something was slightly off, and there's a little bit more lye than it said, then that super fat, it's like a buffer, and it just keeps you safe. So I always add a little bit more. And then when I weigh out the oils, there's even a little tiny bit more. Like if I have to put like 4.9 ounces of oil, I'll put 5 ounces, you know. So on top of that, I'm even making a better super fat. You can super fat some soaps really high, like that coconut soap we made, coconut oil soap was 20% super fat. It's a massive, like normally you super fat around 5%. So, the super fat can be really high. It doesn't hurt the soap at all, um, depending on what you're making. But I mean, I do that on purpose because I don't want anybody to get, you know, their irritated skin from a little bit of lye. Um, let's see here. May kill you, but you will die clean. That's true. You will be very clean, like a whole layer of your skin, depending on how strong that lye solution is. You know, and you will be itchy and in pain. Yeah, yeah. The disclaimer would help sell the course. Fine. I guess I can go figure out how to do it. But I don't like. I don't know. If anybody gets hurt and I get sued, you're paying for my lawyer. Because I can't afford that right now. That's not something I want to spend my time doing, is hiring lawyers to fight against stupidity, basically. If I warn you that this is going to remove layers of your skin and then you do it, but see, then they'd be like, oh, well, why did you have the course? And what happens if a kid is like, oh, this looks cool, and then they argue that I'm selling a course that, looks like an attractive nuisance, essentially. I don't know. I guess I could talk about it but not demonstrate it, because if I demonstrate it, then that's sort of like how to make a insert whatever destructive instrument here. Um, as soon as you have like instructions for that, then there's a certain amount of responsibility you're taking for the people who see it, especially if it's on a platform where anybody can watch it. And I think that's how it will be viewed by the rest of the world, despite my personal feelings. Sea turtles. Do not try this at home. LOL. Especially if you put the LOL at the end, because you know, hold my beer disclaimer. I don't know. Yeah, you could make. I mean, you can make sea turtle soap. In fact, things like whale blubber and stuff are used to make it. So I don't see why you couldn't use seal fat. Just don't let anybody catch you collecting seals. Supposedly, there's some organization out there that prefers we don't go out hunting seals, hunting and collecting seals, because what the way they actually go out and catch them, especially juvenile seals. I'm not suggesting anybody do that, by the way. I'm just rambling again. But yeah, I mean, you can make soap out of whatever animal fat you have handy. Really, I don't know if there is one that doesn't work. I haven't. I mean, some of the soap forums I used to be in, people would ask, oh, I have chicken fat or whatever. Can I make soap out of that? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, technically you can, but do you really want to smell like roast chicken? I don't know. You'd have to really, really refine that. Tallow and lard tend to be pretty well refined. You boil it in water, and then the fat kind of rises to the top, and all the non-fat stuff sinks to the bottom of the pot, and you just skim the fat off the top. And you could probably do that a couple of times and get all the scent out. But I don't know. Anyways, this has gone on far too long. Oh, make soap. Oh, as a theme. Oh. Yes. Yes, we could make soap in the shape of turtles. Is that what you meant? Yes, we can do that too. That probably would result in a lot less hate mail. Um but by all means, in a post-apocalyptic world, if you need to make soap and the only thing available to you is dead turtles that were dead when you already dead when you got there or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know if there's going to be anybody around to judge you, honestly. I mean, do what you want, I guess. All about saving the sea turtles. Yeah. Yeah, let's not just go out farming turtles just for fat to make soap. There are some recipes out there, like sea turtle soap, or it's not soap, sorry, sea turtle soup is what I meant to say. Turtle soup. But yeah, yeah, that's definitely a debate that I don't really want to get people riled up about for sure. That'd be terrible. Supposedly, the turtle soup they substitute with a different kind of meat now, just because I don't know why. Probably legal reasons, but there's a lot of things that people are trying to get banned as a food source because of how the animals are treated. So, although I think that sea turtles would probably not be going extinct if there weren't so many seagulls eating them on their way to the water. the baby ones. If you want to see tragedy, watch one of those where they somebody finds like a nest of baby turtles hatching and running to the water, and like some ridiculously low number makes it. It's just like, why is this on TV? I don't turn this on to be sad. But anyways, viewers at home, please do not listen to us. We're all a little crazy. I don't know, Patty. Have you ever met a sane person, like fully 100% like sane? I don't think that really truly exists. Everybody's got a quirky side. Hopefully, I think we'd be boring if like we didn't all have something weird about us. But of course, you're talking to a weird person, so of course I'm going to defend my position because I'm totally biased. But anyways, but yes, this conversation is probably going to get this video flagged. So to the YouTube mods who are totally not going to actually watch this before judging us, I'm putting this soap in the oven now. So we'll be back on Thursday to cut it and then make sea turtle soap. Do with that information what you will. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great night.